Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Pacer Baseball. Today, the USC Aiken Pacers take on Paine College. On the mound today for the Pacers, we have Connor Riley. He faces off against the leadoff man for the Lions in Jalen Horton. Here's the first pitch, and we are underway with a ball. The 1-0 pitch. It's going to be fouled off to even the count at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Riley. We'll show a bunt there, but it's right down the middle and doesn't offer at it. So the count is 1-2. 1-2 pitch, high and inside, even the count again at 2-2. Riley comes into this game with a 6.05 ERA, almost said a batting average. He has a 2-1 win-loss record in his 9 appearances and 4 starts as he deals the 2-2 pitch for a swing and a miss and a strikeout to start off the game. So Jalen Horton is down on strikes.
Left fielder, number 9, Kendrick Elder.
And with the first man down, we're going to see Kendrick Elder to the plate. He swings at the first pitch and misses for strike 1. As I was saying with Riley, he's 2-1 in his 9 appearances and 4 starts. Also has 21, now 22 strikeouts on the year as that pitch misses for ball 1 to even the count. That one's going to be hit into right field for a base hit.
Third baseman, number 14, Fentress Henderson.
That'll bring up Fentress Henderson. Henderson is batting .333 on the year. He's got a man on first with only 1 down here in the top of the first inning. And he'll hit a fly ball into foul territory and out of play. So 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gonna miss a little high for ball 1. And taking a little too long is Riley, so we're gonna see Henderson give a call time here. That pitch finds the strike zone to make the count 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first. Top of the first inning, no score. Almost got him to chase after that one, but he managed to hold his swing back. And the catcher for today's game, Douglas Ard, tried to make an appeal there. And the 2-2 pitch. Again, trying to get him to chase. That's going to get past Ard there. And advancing over to second on the pass ball is Elder. So the count is full at 3-2 as Ard goes out to talk with Riley. In the infield for the Pacers, we have Brian Pereira over at first. Skylar Mercado is at second base. John Banks at third. Tyler Ammerman is at short. And in the outfield, we have a little bit of a change. We have Niall Goings out there in left field. Mitchell Price is in his usual center field. And Zach Moon is over at right. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Henderson. That one's high and inside for ball 4. So with one out, there'll be runners on first and second for the Lions as we see Adam Martin come to the plate.
Right fielder number 12, Adam Martin.
Martin has a .347 batting average this year. He has runners on first and second with only one down, as the Lions looking to strike early here. And that's going to be a ground ball to Ammerman at short. He'll throw to second for one. The throw to first, however, is going to be in time for the final out. So a 6-4-3 double play gets the Pacers out of a little bit of a jam as we go into the bottom of the first. Still no score. Welcome back, folks. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Pacers due up, and leading off for the Pacers is the second baseman, Skylar Mercado. Mercado has an even .300 batting average on the year. 1 home run and 13 RBIs to his name. First pitch to Mercado is going to miss for ball 1. On the mound today for the Lions, we have Richard Marte. And here's the 1-0 pitch from Marte. That's going to be a little high and make the count 2-0. 2-0 pitch. A little high and inside there, and the count quickly 3-0. In the infield, we have Briscoe Johnson at first base. Jordan Deadwile is the catcher. Second base, we have Brad Dobler, as that one's going to be a walk down to first for Mercado to lead off the inning for the Pacers. As I was saying, Brad Dobler at second. Over at third, we have Fentress Henderson, and the shortstop is Ricky Caruahal. In the outfield, we have right fielder Adam Martin with left fielder Kendrick Elder, and in center field is Jalen Horton. Mitchell Price now steps up to the plate with a runner on first and nobody out. Price batting .323 on the year as he takes the first pitch for ball one. One-0 pitch. That's going to find the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. One pitch. That's going to be hitting high fly ball into center field. Horton going back. He'll make the catch just before the warning track for the first out.
First baseman number 32, Brian Pereira.
That'll bring up Brian Pereira. Pereira batting .345 on the year with 7 home runs and 23 RBIs. Still tied with Zach Moon for the lead in home runs. He comes up with a man on first and one down. First pitch to Pereira is in there for strike one. Oh, 1 pitch as Mercado takes off from first. The throw to second is not in time as Mercado's able to make it in with a stolen base standing up. So count 0-2 on Pereira with Mercado on second. And a call time here, Pereira calling it. So once again, no balls, 2 strikes, runner on second, 1 out, Pereira at the plate. Still no score, bottom of the first inning. That's going to be a well-hit ball into center field. And that will be caught by Horton for the second out. Pacers making good contact so far, but unfortunately for them, it's going right to the fielders, as we are going to see Zach Moon to the plate now. Moon batting .330 on the year. Again, team leading 7 home runs and team leading 29 RBIs. So with 2 down and a runner on second, Moon set to take his first pitch. That was a good-looking pitch there as it fell into the strike zone, channeling my inner Chip. First strike 1, so 0-1 the count. Oh, 1 pitch. That curveball's going to miss a little high there for ball 1 to even the count. A little bit of time waiting on this 1-1 pitch. And that curveball is right there for strike 2. Umpire called it as strike 3, realized it was only strike 2. A little moment of confusion right there. But we're all only human. Moon looking back at him like, what? So here's the 1-2 pitch. This one's going to be a ground ball into left field for a base hit. They're going to wave Mercado home. And the throw is going to be cut off, and that'll be an RBI base hit for Zach Moon.
Designated hitter number 6, Max Show.
That'll bring up Max Schoen, .516 batting average on the year, 4 home runs and 28 RBIs. As a runner on first base and only one down, as the Pacers have an early 1-0 lead. Nice to see Zach Moon get that RBI. He's been struggling a little bit at the plate recently, so this might be what he needs to get himself out of his little slump. First pitch to Schoen. It's going to be low for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Nice curveball there. Finds the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. One pitch in the dirt. Good job there by Deadweiler to keep that in front of him. And the count's going to be 2-1. Marte deals. That's going to be hit into the gap into left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And they're going to have a little problem fielding it, so they're going to wave Moon around third. And Moon's going to come in to score easily on the RBI. Base hit by Max Schoen. We'll see what they score that as. It's a possible double or just a single with an error. Regardless, the score is 2-0. And Max Schoen continues his hot streak, and it looks like we're going to give him a double on that. So an RBI double for Max Schoen gives the Pacers a 2-0 lead. And now we're going to see the third baseman, John Banks, come to the plate. Banks batting .385 on the year as he watches the first pitch go in there for strike 1. No home runs for the third baseman, but he does have 23 RBIs. Oh, 1 pitch. Outside. Another good job by Deadweiler keeping it in front of him. Got a little bit away from him, but he was able to grab a hold of it. Counts even at 1-1. And Marte will step off the rubber for a moment. One pitch. Curveball is going to be a slow hopper over to short. The throw is in time for the final out. But the Pacers get 2 here and take an early 2-0 lead as we go into the top of the second with that score. And welcome to the top of the second inning, folks. Pacers lead the Lions 2-0. And Briscoe Johnson to lead off the second half for the Lions. Johnson batting .345 on the year as he pops that one back and foul. Oh, 1 pitch. That's going to find the strike zone to make the count 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch. Trying to get him to chase outside. Make the count 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him chasing there for the strikeout. And the first out of the second.
Shortstop, number 8, Ricky Caruaho.
That brings up the shortstop, Ricky Caruaho. Caruaho batting .365 on the year. First pitch is in there for call strike 1. 0-1 from Riley. Just outside there, evens the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Also outside, makes the count 2-1. Two-one pitch. Just catching a bit of the outside of the plate there to even the count at 2-2. Swing and a miss there. Got him chasing for the strikeout and the second out of the inning.
Catcher, number 16, Jordan Detweiler.
That brings up Jordan Detweiler. Detweiler batting .341 on the year. And the first pitch to Detweiler is going to be popped up into foul territory down the first base side. That's going to be out of play. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouled straight back. Got a reaction out of the crowd there. And the count is 0-2. That one's going to be a hopper over to second. Mercado with the easy throw to first for the final out. So a 1-2-3 inning keeps the Pacers up 2-0 as we're going into the bottom of the second inning. And welcome to the bottom of the second inning. Niall Goings to lead it off for the Pacers. Goings batting .237 on the year. 1 home run and 5 RBIs. As he sets to face Marte. And he'll foul off the first pitch for strike one. And the 0-1 pitch. Curveball is going to miss very high. That was a good 2 feet over Goings' head, even before he ducked. And leaving the count at 1-1. And just going to miss a little bit outside there to make the count 2-1. Two-one pitch. Also going to miss right over Goings' head. Make the count 3-1. 3-1 pitch. That's going to miss high, and Goings will walk to lead off the second. And that'll bring up Doug Ard, the catcher for today's game.
Number 10, Doug Ard.
Ard comes into this game batting just under .300 at .294. No home runs and 3 RBIs. Only played in 10 games, however. That first pitch catching the corner of the plate there for strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. That's just going to catch Ard on the shoulder. And he'll jog on over to first base to put runners on first and second with nobody down. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Tyler Ammerman. Ammerman batting .256 on the year. Has the only Pacer triple and has 2 home runs and 17 RBIs. Comes up with runners on first and second and still nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning of a 2-0 game. First pitch gets to the plate there for strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. That one's going to be in there for strike two, and the count quickly 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a curveball by Ammerman. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Second baseman, number 11, Skyler Mercado.
That'll bring us to the top of the order, and Skyler Mercado. Mercado walked, stole a base, and came around to score back in the first inning. He has runners on first and second with only 1 down, as that pitch is going to miss outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Marte. It's going to be a high fly ball into center field. Horton chases after it. He's on the track, and he's not going to be able to come up with the ball. And they're going to wave Goings around third, but he's going to stumble a little bit, and they're going to keep him there.
Center fielder, number 1, Mitchell Price.
So the single by Mercado will make the bases loaded with only 1 out. And that will bring up Mitchell Price, who flew out to center back in the first inning. Winds are blowing out to center field, so you have to imagine the ball carried a little bit and may not have been right where Price had read it was going to land. So bases loaded with 1 out for Mitchell Price, and the first pitch is a curveball, which is going to miss for ball 1. One-0 pitch. It grounded to short. The throw to second for 1. The throw over to first is in time for the double play. So Paine Lions managed to get out of a bases-loaded jam with only 1 out by turning the 6-4-3 double play. As we go into the top of the 3rd inning, Pacers still leading 2-0. And we are back in the top of the 3rd inning, 2-0 the score in favor of USC Aiken. And a new pitcher on the mound in relief for Connor Riley is Trevor Hutto. Gabriel Guzman is coming up for the Lions. He's today's DH. And the first pitch is in there for strike 1. Guzman batting .235 on the year as he faces Trevor Hutto. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. Count quickly 0-2. Hutto comes into this game with a .279 ERA, a 1-1 record in his 4 starts and 6 appearances. And the 0-2 pitch is going to be a fly ball into center field. Price coming on and making the catch for the first out. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Brad Dobler.
Second baseman, number 15, Brad Dobler.
Dobler batting .279 on the year. He comes up with nobody on and 1 out. First pitch from Hutto is a strike. And the 0-1 pitch is going to miss low for ball 1 to even count at 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And the count at 1-2. That one's going to be a high hopper over to Pereira at first. And he'll throw to Hutto, who covers the bag for the second out.
Horton.
And well, brings us to the top of the line order and Jalen Horton, who struck out back in the first on his first at-bat. First pitch catching the lower part of the strike zone for strike one. And the 0-1. That'll be fouled off, and the count quickly 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the third, 2-0 the score in favor of the Pacers. That one's going to be grounded over to third, and they'll call that a foul ball. Very close to being fair, but it just curved foul at the last minute. So it'll keep the count at 0-2. In the dirt, and the count now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's going to be fouled off, and keep the count at 1-2. And the 1-2 again. That one's going to be grounded, and Mercado unable to come up with the ball there. See how they mark this one. They're going to mark that an error on Mercado. And they'll bring up Kendrick Elder, who has the only hit in today's ball game for Paine College. Managed to single back in the first and reach second on a pass ball. So with a runner on first and 2 outs, Hutto sets the deal to Elder, who grounds one foul. The 0-1 pitch. In there for a call strike 2, and the count 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Art unable to hold on to it, though, as he fires it down to first for the final out. So a 1-2 reach on an error 3 inning will bring us into the bottom of the third inning. Pacers still leading 2-0. And we are back here in the bottom of the third inning. Brian Pereira to lead it off for the Pacers. Pereira 0 for 1 today. Flew out back in the first. Pacers leading 2-0 here as we're set for Pereira to lead it off. And curveball is going to find the strike zone for strike one. An early 0-1 count to Pereira. That one's going to come in on Pereira. Just barely missed him. And the count even at 1-1. One pitch. Line foul. Well hit ball. And the count now 1-2. That's a high fly ball into right field. It's going to go back. It's on the track. It's at the wall. It is gone! A solo home run for Brian Pereira. It gives the Pacers a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. And with that home run, Brian Pereira takes sole possession of first place on the home run list for the Pacers. And that brings up the man he was just most recently tied with, Zach Moon. He looks to tie this one up again. Moon had an RBI single back in the first inning. Also came around to score a run. And the first pitch to Moon is going to be outside for ball one. The 1-0 to Moon. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. That's going to miss. Far away from the plate. Trying to figure out how to say that. Bounced way in front of the plate and also outside. End result's a ball anyway, so count 2-1. That one to miss outside as well, and the count now 3-1. Three-one pitch in the dirt, well before the plate, and Moon will draw a walk with nobody out.
Designated hitter number 6, Max Show.
And that'll bring up Max Schoen. An RBI double back in the first. He comes up with nobody out and a runner on first base. That pitch outside for ball one. And we're going to have a moment here. Deadweiler going to go ahead and talk with Marte on the mound for a moment. Marte obviously having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. He's thrown several of the last few pitches outside. The the 1-0 pitch upcoming to Schoen. That's going to be line foul to even the count at 1-1. Schoen just a little bit early on that curveball there. The 1-1 pitch is out in the dirt, and Moon's going to take off. And Moon will be on second base now on the wild pitch. I'm not really sure how to call that. Do you call it a wild pitch or a pass ball? Tough call. I'll leave that to the official scores, and I'll just mark it on my score sheet with Moon got to second. So 2-1 the count to Schoen. That's going to be a high hopper over to third, but foul. That evens the count at 2-2. Two from Marte. Curveball, a high fly ball into left field. That one's going to go back. It's on the track. It's at the wall, and that one is gone. A home run for Max Schoen. A 2-run home run gives the Pacers a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. And with that home run, Max Schoen is now tied Zach Moon for the most RBIs on the team. Got to feel bad for Moon. Everybody's catching up to him. But I'm sure it doesn't feel too bad as long as it results in the win. And the Pacers are leading it 5-0 as we're going to see John Banks come to the plate. Little meeting on the mound here just before John Banks steps to the plate. Banks grounded out to end the bottom of the first inning. Had a momentary lapse in brain function there. And that'll be the end of the night for Marte as the Lions are going to go to their bullpen, and we will be right back while we give their new pitcher a little chance to warm up. And we are back, still in the bottom of the third inning. Pacers leading 5-0, and John Banks at bat as he faces Stephen Abernathy. Abernathy with an 8.03 ERA in his 11 appearances. And crowd quickly 0-1 to Banks. And a swing and a miss there makes it 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch, that's going to be fouled off and keep the count at 0-2. Another foul ball to keep us at the 0-2 count. Once again, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Banks for the first out of the third.
Left fielder number 34, Niall Goey.
That'll bring up Niall Goings. Walked, made it to third, might have made it home had he not stumbled over third base. He comes up with nobody on him, 1 out. And he'll let the first pitch go by for ball 1. One 0 pitch to Goings. That's going to come inside and miss for ball 2. Swing and a miss. Goings a little early on that one. That'll make the count 2-1. That's a high fly ball into left field. That one's going to go back on the track at the wall, and that one is gone. 3 home runs in this inning give the Pacers a 6-0 lead. The most recent one, the solo shot there by Niall Goings. And that'll bring up Doug Ard.
Number 10, Doug Ard.
Ard comes up with nobody on and 1 out. Was hit by a pitch his first appearance back in the second inning. That one's going to be a hopper to third. The throw to first. Off the mark. And unable to hold on to it was Johnson, so Ard is going to make it safely to first on the error.
Shortstop, number 8, Tyler Ammerman.
That'll bring up Tyler Ammerman. Struck out back in the second his first time up. So Ammerman up with a runner on first and only 1 down here in the bottom of the third inning. And I got to throw over to first there to check on Ard. That's one's going to be fouled off for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. This is going to be lined just foul for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Ammerman. Another hard shot line foul. Keep the count at 0-2. That pitch just going to miss high. I made the count 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch is just going to Nick Ammerman, and he'll make his way down to first base. That'll put runners on first and second, and top of the order, Skylar Mercado comes up. 1 for 1 today with a walk, stolen base, base hit, and a run scored. Comes up with runners on first and second and only 1 down. Pacers leading 6-0, bottom of the third inning. That's a high fly ball into left field. That one's going to make it to the track, and that one is not going to be caught as it's off the wall. So that'll load up the bases on the single by Mercado. That'll bring up Mitchell Price. 0 for 2 today. Flew out and grounded into a double play as he comes up with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the third. So Price steps to the plate with 1 on, 3 on, 1 out. And the first pitch to Price. And they're going to bring in the runner there as that ball's going to deflect off of Deadweiler. So a wild pitch makes the score 7-0 for the Pacers, and runners on the corners, actually, first and third. So still 1 out. Mitchell Price still up. Runners on the corners, 7-0 the score. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Price. That's going to miss outside. Count out 2-0. And I'm going to throw over to first. Keeping Mercado close to the bag. Mercado just missed a home run there by maybe a couple of feet. Second time he's almost missed. That one's grounded to short and off the glove, and that'll go into center field. So that's going to score 1 more run, increasing the Pacer lead 8-0. We'll see how they mark it. They're going to mark that an error.
First baseman number 32, Brian Pereira.
And that will bring up Brian Pereira, who led off this bottom of the third inning with a home run. Comes up with runners on first and second with still only 1 out. Check swing, manages to hold back as that one goes by for ball 1. The 1-0 to Pereira. That one's going to find the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Curveball's going to miss outside, and the count now 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out. Runners on first and second. 8-0 the score here in the bottom of the third inning with Brian Pereira at the plate. That pitch misses outside, and the count now 3-1. And that's going to walk Pereira as that one misses outside. And the bases are once again loaded, and Zach Moon comes to the plate.
Right fielder number 14, Zach Moon.
Moon walked his last time up and came around to score. Also saw his sole possession of the RBI leader for the Pacers and for the tying position of leader in home runs disappeared today. However, with bases loaded, only one out, he has an opportunity to regain those. And the first pitch is in the dirt for ball one. One 0 pitch is a curveball, which comes into the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. One pitch is going to be grounded foul, making the count 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, that's going to go back a little bit, but not too far away as Deadweiler is able to catch up with it and keep the runners on base. The count even at 2-2 on Moon with one out and bases loaded. That one's going to get fouled off, keep the count at 2-2. Once again, the 2-2 pitch. That's a high fly ball into left field. That's on the track. It's at the wall, and that one is going to be gone. A grand slam for Zach Moon. And that'll give the Pacers a 12-0 lead. One swing of the bat, Zach Moon regains sole possession of the team leading in RBIs and ties Brian Pereira in home runs on the fourth home run of the inning.
Hitter number 6, Max Show.
And that'll bring up Max Schoen, who hit a 2-run home run his last time up. 2 for 2 today with an RBI double back in the first. First pitch to Schoen is going to miss for ball one. That's another high fly ball there towards center field. Horton comes on and makes the catch for the second out.
Third baseman, number 17, John Banks.
And that'll bring up John Banks. 0 for 2 today, a ground out and a strikeout. He comes up with nobody on and 2 outs. Nobody on courtesy of the grand slam by Zach Moon. And that pitch is going to be grounded foul for strike 1. And the count now 1-1 with that pitch. One pitch to Banks. Be low in the count now 2-1. That one will be fouled off of what looks like Banks' foot. That'll even the count at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. That one will miss, and the count now full. Three-two pitch, and that one's outside, and Banks draws the 2-out walk.
Oh, left fielder, number 34, Niall Goings.
And that'll bring up Niall Goings. Homered earlier in this inning, one of the 4 home runs we have in the third. He's also managed to draw a walk. And he'll swing at the first pitch for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. That's going to be grounded into left field for a base hit. The runner's on first and second with 2 down. After the going single, brings up Doug Ard, who reached on an error and managed to score on a wild pitch.
Your catcher, number 10, Doug Ard.
First pitch to Ard is going to be high for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be hitting towards the gap in left center field. And that one is going to be caught by Elder for the final out. But the Pacers get 9 in this bottom of the third inning on 4 home runs, one of which was a grand slam by Zach Moon. As we go into the top of the 4th inning, Pacers lead 12-0. And we are in the top of the fourth inning. Pacers leading 12-0. Fendris Henderson leads off the top of the fourth for the Lions. And he'll watch the first pitch go by for strike one. Several defensive changes for the Pacers. Preston Dawson takes over for Brian Pereira at first. JT Arneman is out there in left field. And Niall Goings moves from left over to right to replace Zach Moon. And Luke Westerberg replaces Mitchell Price out in center. Count is 1-1 to Henderson. And Trevor Hutto remains on the mound. And the count now 2-1 as that one's in the dirt. And the 2-1 pitch. It's going to be line foul and out of play. Evens the count up again at 2-2. Two pitch is just going to miss high to make the count full. Three-two pitch is low for ball four. And Henderson leads off with his second walk of the day.
Right fielder number 12, Adam Martin.
That'll bring up Adam Martin. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the first. His first time up. Comes up with a runner on first and nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning of a 12-0 baseball game. That pitch is high and outside for ball one. One-0 pitch. That'll be fouled off to even the count up at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one catching the outside part of the plate for a 1-2 count. And the 1-2 pitch is in there for a call strike three. And Martin down looking for the first out.
First baseman number 23, Briscoe Johnson.
That brings up Briscoe Johnson, who struck out back in the second his first time up. Comes up with a runner on first and one down, top of the fourth inning. First pitch is in the dirt, and that's going to get away from Ard. And Henderson's going to make his way over to second. Want to know the count, runner on second, one down. That one's going to find the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. Foul tipped into the glove of Ard to make the count 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Inside corner for a call strike three, and back-to-back strikeouts for the first two outs. We'll bring up Ricky Caruahall.
Shortstop number 8, Ricky Caruahall.
Caruahall also struck out back in the second inning on his first at-bat. First pitch right down the middle for strike one. That's going to be a high fly ball into right field. And Goings is going to make the catch for the final out. So the Pacers go into the bottom of the fourth inning, keeping their 12-0 lead intact. We'll be right back. And welcome back, folks. Bottom of the fourth inning, Pacers due up, and Tyler Ammerman is the first one to bat. He'll be facing the new pitcher, Raul Sweeney. And the first pitch to Ammerman, catching the outside part of the plate for strike one. Ammerman 0 for 1 today. It was hit by a pitch and scored a run, and is also struck out. And that one's going to be grounded over to third. And the throw to first is in time for the first out.
Second baseman, number 11, Skyler Mercado.
They'll bring up the top of the order, and Skyler Mercado. 2 for 2 today. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. First pitch missing high and outside for ball one. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss. That'll even the count at 1-1. One pitch will miss outside, and the count now 2-1. That's going to be grounded to short. Nice little grab there by Karua Hall. Throw to first is in time for the out. So 2 down real quickly here in the bottom of the fourth inning. That'll bring up JT Arneman, who is one of the new outfielders. He'll be batting for Mitchell Price. Arneman comes up with nobody on and 2 down here in the 4th inning. That's going to be a slow hopper back to the mound. And the throw to first is in time for the final out. So a 1-2-3 inning will send us into the top of the 5th. Pacers still leading 12-0. And welcome to the top of the 5th inning. Jordan Deadweiler to lead it off for Paine as he takes a first pitch strike from the new Pacer pitcher, Bryce Buster. Buster with a 3.0 ERA in his 3 appearances. No wins and no losses. And the 0-1, he'll even the count at 1-1 as that's in the dirt. Deadweiler 0 for 1 today as he grounded out back in the 2nd, his first time up. And the 1-1 pitch. I'll find the lower part of the strike zone to make the count 1-2. That one in the dirt, evens the count at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Be grounded over to the new shortstop Smithers, who throws over to first for the first out. Defensive changes for the Pacers in this inning. Joey Smithers is over at short, and David Langster takes over at third base. And Gabriel Guzman comes up to the plate now with nobody on and 1 out. 0 for 1 today as well. He flew out in the second inning, and he'll take a first pitch strike. Swing and a miss on that one, and the count now 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch is in the dirt. That'll make the count 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be fouled off, keeping the count at 1-2. Once again, the 1-2 pitch. That'll be a high hopper back to the mound. Long throw over to first is going to be off the mark and over Pereira's head. And Goings is going to have to come on and grab that, as making it into second base is Guzman.
Second baseman number 15, Brad Dobler.
And Brad Dobler comes to the plate now. So with runner on second and one down, we'll see Buster deal to Dobler. First pitch is going to be low for ball one. And the 1-0. Right down the middle there, and the count even at 1-1. One pitch is going to miss low. That'll make the count 2-1. Swing and a miss on the 2-1 pitch, evens the count again at 2-2. That one's going to be lined right over there. Nice little grab by Smithers. Almost right up the middle. But Smithers got over there in time to make the catch for the final out. So we're going into the bottom of the fifth inning. 12-0 is still the score. Pacers lead it. And welcome back, folks. Preston Dawson leads off the bottom of the 5th inning as he watches the first pitch go by for ball 1. Dawson in for Brian Pereira. That's going to be a high fly ball there into center field. And it's going to be caught on the track. No, it will not be caught on the track. He was not able to come up with that ball. Heard it hit his glove, thought he caught it. However, he dropped it. So Dawson will make it into second on the E8. That's what you get for calling it before you get the official scoring. And now Luke Westerberg comes to the plate with a runner on second and nobody out. Little moment of confusion in the top of the 5th. It was a liner to Joey Smithers, who caught the ball, which was the second out, and then he managed to tag second base as the runner had left, obviously before he caught the ball. So it was a double play there for Smithers to end the inning. 0-1 the count to Westerberg, the new batter. Got to follow that one back, and the count now is 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. It's going to be in the dirt, and the count now 1-2. And the count now even at 2-2 as that one misses high and inside. Curveball missing high, and that'll make the count full. That one's going to be lined into left field. Well hit, and that one is gone. A 2-run home run by Luke Westerberg makes this Pacer lead 14-0. The second that hit the bat, it was gone. Just an absolute laser by Westerberg as he picks up where Zach Moon left off.
Designated hitter, number 6, Max Show.
And Max Schoen to the plate now. He had a 2-run home run of his own his last time up. Sorry, not his last time up, back in the 3rd inning. His last time up, he flew out. He's 2 for 3 today with an RBI double and that 2-run home run. And he's going to watch that curveball go by for strike 1. That curveball will find to the corner of the plate there to make the count 0-2. That's going to be a fly ball into center field. Horton coming on, and it's going to drop in front of him for a base hit.
Third baseman, number 5, David Langster.
And now David Langster, who's batting for John Banks, comes to the plate. First pitch to Langster is going to miss high for ball 1. And the 1-0. That one finds the strike zone to even the count at 1-1. That one's going to be popped up into shallow right field. Coming on and making a stumbling diving catch is Martin for the second out. Looks like he may have shaken himself up out there as he's squatting down, but he seems to be okay. Gets back up and heads back to his position. And that'll bring up Niall Goings. Goings is 2 for 3 today. A single, a walk, and a home run. Comes up with a runner on first and only 1 down as the Pacers lead in the bottom of the 5th inning, 14-0. And the first pitch to Goings is in there for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch is in the dirt, and it'll even the count up at 1-1. Goings checks his swing. They say he went for it as the ball gets away. And that will move Schoen over to second. Count now 1-2 on Goings, however. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and miss by Goings. And Goings will be down on strikes for the second out.
Catcher number 10, Doug Ard.
And that will bring up Douglas Ard. 0 for 2 today. Flew out, reached on an error, and was hit by a pitch. He has also scored a run. And we're going to have a moment here. There's going to be a meeting on the mound. And we're going to have a new pitcher, and we're going to take a short break while he warms up. And we are back. Doug Ard at the plate with 2 down and a runner on second in a 14-0 game. And the new pitcher is Kenneth Lewis for the Lions. And his first pitch is in there for strike one. And the 0-1 pitch is high to even the count at 1-1. That pitch missing high, and the count now 2-1. And the count now 3-1 is that pitch missing high. And a foul tip there will make the count full to Ard. The 3-2 pitch is going to be a slow grounder. Coming on and making the play was Karua Hall. And he will make it in time over to first base for the final out. Had to wait a moment there for the call. But it is indeed an out, and the final out of the bottom of the fifth as the Pacers go into the top of the sixth, leading 14-0. And welcome to the top of the sixth inning, folks. Pacers lead Paine College 14-0. Jalen Horton will lead it off for the Lions, and he will be facing the new pitcher, Blake Cantrell. And the first pitch from Cantrell is in there for strike one. Cantrell has no ERA, no wins, no losses, and one appearance, along with 1 inning pitched. So, given the Pacers taking an opportunity to take a look at what Cantrell can do. And it'll quickly be an 0-2 count to Horton. Oh, 2 pitch is going to miss outside, and the count now 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and now leaving the count at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just missing outside, and that'll make the count full. That one's going to be popped up into foul territory and out of play. That'll keep the count at 3-2. Once again, the 3-2 pitch. Just on the outside corner there for strike 3, and the first out of the 6th.
Left fielder number 9, Kendrick Elder.
And that'll bring up Kendrick Elder. Elder is 1 for 2 today. Has the only hit for the Lions in today's game. It was a base hit back in the first inning. He struck out his second time up. And he thought about going after that first pitch. Managed to hold his swing off, and the appeal confirms that. So the count will be 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Catching the outside part of the plate there. And that'll even the count at 1-1. One pitch, swing and a miss. Very early on that off-speed pitch. That'll make the count 1-2. That one's going to be a slow hopper up the middle. Charging is Smithers, throwing and making it in time for the second out. Nice stretch there by Dawson at first. And a good, accurate, and fast throw by Smithers for the second out. That was by no means a gimme play. So with 2 down, we'll see Fendris Henderson, the third baseman, come up. 0 for 0 today as he's walked twice. Gray's in the outside part of the plate for strike 1. And they count 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch will be fouled off. Came inside there in Henderson. That'll make the count 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just barely missing high, and that'll make the count 1-2. They popped up into foul territory down the right field side. Coming out and making the catch is Dawson for the final out. A 1-2-3 inning, and we are going into the bottom of the sixth. Pacers leading 14-0. And welcome to the bottom of the 6th inning. Joey Smithers leads it off as he fouls one off for strike one. New pitcher on the mound for the Lions, Adam Martin, as Kenneth Lewis during his warm-up tosses hurt himself a little bit. That pitch is outside to even the count at 1-1. That curveball is going to find the strike zone. So the count 1-2 on Smithers. And a swing and a miss there for the first out.
Second baseman, number 11, Skyler Mercado.
That'll bring up Skyler Mercado. Mercado is 2 for 3 today with 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. And the first pitch is going to miss low for ball 1. That one's going to be hit toward second base. Throw to first is in time for the second out.
Left fielder, number 44, J.T. Arneman.
And J.T. Arneman comes up. Grounded out his last time up. Comes up with nobody on and 2 outs here in a 14-0 ball game. Swing and a miss. Got him with an off-speed pitch there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one finds the strike zone, and the count is 0-2. The 0-2 pitch is going to be fouled off. And I'll keep the count at 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, the second strikeout and final out of the bottom of the 6th inning. We're going into the top of the 7th. Pacers leading 14-0. And welcome to the top of the 7th, folks. Adam Martin will lead it off for the Lions, and he faces the new USC Aiken pitcher in Hunter Hubbard, as that first pitch misses outside. Now, it has been decided that if Paine is unable to score at least 4 runs in this half of the inning, the coaches have agreed to enforce the mercy rule, which will effectively end the game after the top of the 7th. Count is now 1-1 to Martin. Swing and a miss there. Count now 1-2. One-two pitch is going to be grounded slowly towards second. Throw from Mercado is off the mark and over the head of Dawson. I'll put the leadoff man aboard for the Lions on the E4.
First baseman, number 23, Briscoe Johnson.
And that brings up Briscoe Johnson, who's 0 for 2 today. First pitch is inside for ball 1. So a 1-0 count with nobody out and a runner on second base. That pitch is just going to be low. And the count 2-0. Ball started to roll slowly away from Ard, but he's able to get to it and keep Martin on second. That one's going to be fouled off. Make the count 2-1. Two-one pitch is just going to be low, and the count now 3-1. Foul tipped into the glove of Ard for the second strike. And that'll make the count full. And that's going to be a hit into the field of play. For a moment there, I thought it hit Johnson, but apparently it hit his bat and went into the field of play, so that'll be one down with a runner still on second base. And Ricky Caruahall will step to the plate. That play was so weird that I don't think anybody knew what was going on except for the Pacer infield. And Caruahall's first pitch is going to be a strike one. Oh, one's going to miss low and outside. Evens the count at 1-1. One pitch will miss high, and the count now at 2-1. Pitch comes inside, count 3-1. Swing and a miss, and the count is full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on second, 14-0 the score here in the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be a slow hopper over to short. A long throw is not going to make it in time. However, good effort there by Smithers to try to get that. That'll be a hit for Caruaho. So there'll be runners now on first and second with one down. And Jordan Deadweiler coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. First pitch is in there for strike one. It's going to be a high pop-up towards first base. And it'll be caught by Dawson for the second out. So with that, the Lions will be down to their last out unless they manage to score 4 runs in this half of the inning. Take a moment here as Hubbard needs to adjust some of his equipment. Curveball finds the strike zone for strike one. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Paine down to their last out here in the top of the 7th inning, as that one's going to be sliced foul and out of play. (0-2) pitch. That's also going to be fouled off, and we'll redo the 0-2. That'll be a fly ball into right field. Goings comes on and makes the catch for the final out. And that'll do it. Pacers win this one by mercy rule here in the top of the 7th inning, 14-0. Pacers score their 14 runs on 12 hits and 3 errors, and Lions score 0 runs on 2 hits and 3 errors. We thank you for joining us. We hope to see you as we play Montevallo on Friday, the first game of a 3-game set. I'm Marcus Johnson. Have a good one.